Not everybody, welcome back. In this video, we are looking at the NBA slate for tonight. We only have a 3-gamer, so it's going to be a quick video. Starting at 7:30, one game, and then we have 2 late-night games. So let's get into it. If you guys enjoy the videos, appreciate it. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Starting off at the point guard options here, we have a couple of guys above 9K. You have Young, Lillard, and Mitchell. I kind of like the tag on Lillard on DraftKings. He's $9,200. Finally had a good shooting game from 3. Made 6 of 14. That was his best shooting performance all year from distance, except for one where he shot 5 of 7. But overall, he's been struggling shooting the ball. He's still hovering under 30% from 3, 25% right now. The matchup is a good one, though, against the Clippers. I'm expecting this one to be, out of the 3 games, this one to be probably the best one to target. Atlanta, Utah, in Utah might be a bit of a lower scoring game. But the Bucks against Philly, Sixers play at a slow pace. They're on a back-to-back. That game is probably the second, and then I like this Portland Clippers game. I think it's going to be the best one to target. So that's the game I'm looking to get most of my pieces from, followed by the Milwaukee-Philly game, and then the Atlanta-Utah game, assuming that both sides are pretty much fully healthy. Young is 94. He had a good game. It's a back-to-back for the Hawks going into Utah. Tough spot for Trae Young. He's had a good tag, though, for tournaments, but I probably go Lillard, then Young, then Donovan Mitchell, now that Mike Conley is back after he was held out last game for rest. But CJ McCollum is going to be my favorite play at the position. I'm playing my shooting guard, though, just so I can utilize a point guard in the actual point guard spot. He's only $7,200. His price tag has dropped hundreds of dollars over the last couple of slates. Went from 8K to 81 to 79 down to 72. Just one bad shooting performance kind of just derailed his price tag, but I'll go right back to CJ McCollum. It's just a very nice price tag on a small slate. Then I like Jrue Holiday a little bit. He's only $6,400. He finally got up to 30 minutes. They've been kind of easing him back after he's missed a lot of time. This one, he should start again. It's going up against his former team. He was with the Sixers for many years early on in his career. So maybe he has some extra motivation there. But overall, I expect Holiday to perform well at this price tag. He might even get up to like 32 to 34 minutes in a close game here. Reggie Jackson has been playing a lot better over the past few games. He is 63 after he had that 51-point performance. Backed it up with a couple of solid ones. And the minutes for him are just super high. He's getting 34 minutes in every single game. Last couple he's gotten up to 37 and 36. So Reggie Jackson, Jrue Holiday, 2 guys in the mid-range that I have no problem with going. Maxey's also in the mix against the Bucks, but he might be more popular today because of what he did last game. If he's going to be way more popular than Jackson and Jrue Holiday, I'd rather just go to those guys than go with Maxey on a back-to-back. Then in the 5K range, you have like Clarkson, Bogdanovich, Milton. Nothing crazy I'm looking at too much. Milton will probably come off the bench once again. He had a really bad night shooting the basketball. You have Bledsoe at 43. Could be worth a shot here. He plays mid to high 20s in minutes here. He's only $4,300. He's just not been able to buy any sort of shots. I mean, I can't believe this guy had a couple of years where he shot almost 40% from 3 because this year he's shot 4 of 29 from distance. Can't buy a basket at all from deep. His twos are not falling either. The minutes are still steady. He can kind of contribute in the steals department, the rebounds, assists. But hopefully he has a good shooting performance soon because that price tag is definitely good enough that if he does hit a couple of threes, get hot, he can put up like 30-plus fantasy points. So I would definitely take a shot on Bledsoe on the small slate. And then you have Simons, who continues to be a good value play. He takes 10-plus shots off the bench for the team. Plays low 20s in minutes, and he's been super productive, getting you over 20 fantasy points in like 60, 70% of his starts, or 70% of the games this year. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and go back to Jrue Holiday, going up against the Sixers here. Over at shooting guard, you have Donovan Mitchell, 91. Give me CJ McCollum at this price tag. He's only 72. Has been the best shooter on the Blazers this year. He has averaging like 4-plus made threes a game. He contributes in the assists and rebounds. They stagger the minutes with Lillard, so gets a bunch of time without Damian Lillard out there on the court, and he's super productive. So I got to go with CJ McCollum at a very nice price tag. Seth Curry is fine if you make a bunch of teams here. He's going to get a lot of shots off. Sixers are super shorthanded. Then I'm not looking to get like to Allen or Mann, really, or Milton, or in a single lineup. If you make a bunch, you can sprinkle them in. But I'd rather go down to like Bledsoe. Take a shot on Bledsoe. Maybe a shot on Kennard here. And shooting guard is pretty weak. So like you have Cam Reddish and Kevin Huerter. They could be worth shots because they're just so cheap. Like Reddish does give you some upside. The minutes on all these Hawks guys are just so tough to project because it's basically whoever's playing well is going to get the minutes. If you're not playing well, they'll just go to another guy because they have so many guys off the bench that they can play. Small forward, it feels like a Paul George type of day. He's 10-5. Last couple of days, Paul George hasn't gone off. I think this is the one where he does go off. Last game, just tough night for him. 8 turnovers. Didn't have any steals, which he's averaging almost 3 steals per game. So that was kind of odd. Also, just almost missed a triple-double by a little bit. Recently, he's 2 out of his last 19 from distance, so that might be a little bit of a concern. But he's back at home here. He's averaging 50 against the Blazers in 2 starts this year already. So I will side with Paul George. At this price tag, he does give you monstrous upside and plays huge minutes. And this game, I'm expecting it to be close. So got to go Paul George. Nobody else is even close to his price tag at the position. You have Bogdanovich from Utah down at 53. You have Powell, who looks pretty good at $5,200. And then in the 4K range, you have like Danny Green, who happened to play 30 minutes, 3 of 9 from him shooting the basketball. He's still probably a good value play on the Sixers. Price tag did go up a little bit. But he's going to see decent minutes starting, and compared to like some of the other price tags on like Milton and Korkmaz, still a good play at 49, but I'd probably go to Danny Green, take the value on him. Moving on to power forward. Top end, you have Giannis. Looks like a great option against Philly. He's 11-4, so you're probably going to have to pick between him and Paul George, unless you want to do a double stack with the superstars. Right now I'm leaning Paul George, but if we got more value, I can easily get up to Giannis as well. Maybe that'll cost me getting to like Holiday or McCollum. But Bobby Portis seems to be a really good play here at 54. Hopefully he does what he did last game, where he had 6 stocks. Double-double out of him in his first start. Took 17 shots. We know the Bobby Portis, he's not afraid to shoot the ball. And the matchup against Philly, going up against Drummond in that front court. Like Drummond is going to get you a ton of rebounds. Bobby Portis is going to have to fight for some rebounds and stuff like that. But I expect him to get the good minutes here. 30-plus minutes out of Bobby Portis at a pretty good price tag. Worst case, he gets you like 20-plus fantasy points, which won't kill you at this price tag, but the upside is definitely there for Bobby Portis in a plus matchup, especially if they start Korkmaz. He's going to be able to eat in that front court, but I think they might start Paul Reed or go a little bit bigger. Then you have like Royce O'Neal, Covington, good decent value plays. Ibaka played 8 minutes in his first game. Don't know how much more he'll play today. Then you have like Gallinari, take a shot on him. Paul Reed, if he starts, maybe you can take a shot with him. And then Larry Nance is 31. On a small slate, he's kind of worth a shot just because you hope that he gets some minutes. But he hasn't really done anything this year. Moving on to center, you have Giannis. You could play him if you wanted to go super expensive. Go right back to Drummond. why not? He plays big minutes for the Sixers whenever Embiid is out. And he had 25 rebounds yesterday, which is insane. 14, 25, 2 blocks for him. Plays big minutes. A matchup here against the Bucks. It's not an easy one, but going up against like Portis should be a spot where Drummond can still get some rebounds. He definitely has a couple of inches over Bobby Portis at the position. And the price tag has gone up a little bit, but he still gives you monstrous upside on a center slate where if you have like Nurkic in similar price tag, but he might play a few minutes less. You have Gobert almost 9K, and then you have Capella over 7K in a tough matchup against Rudy Gobert. So unless I'm not getting all the way up to Giannis, I think Drummond is probably the best out of this bunch here. Then moving on to the forward spot, I'll go with Robert Covington. He's only $4,300. Like I mentioned in the last video, he's super streaky of a player. Normally, if he's hot, he stays hot for a couple of games. If he's cold, he's ice cold. He was cold, way cold to start the year. He's been hot the last few games shooting the ball. 4 of 7, 5 of 10, 2 of 3 from distance. The minutes have gone up over 30 in close games. He should be out there defending Paul George for most of the time. He's a good defender and gets you some blocks and steals as well. Gets some open threes. Price tag is definitely good enough to take a shot at this $4,300 tag. So that's the 6 pieces I have right now as a kind of a first look on the DraftKings side. Let's talk about FanDuel. So FanDuel point guard plays. Lillard continues to be underpriced on FanDuel. He's 85. Young is up to 95, so I'll definitely go with Lillard as my favorite play at the position. Then it would be Donovan Mitchell, then Trae Young in terms of the spend-ups. I like Holiday at 68. He looks better on DraftKings, but still worth some shots on FanDuel. Maybe like Reggie Jackson a little bit more than Holiday, given his just $6,100 price tag. Now, if you needed to, you can take shots on Seth Curry, who's super affordable, Bledsoe at 46, and that's basically it. At shooting guard, Paul George is 10-8. You can play him at shooting guard, small forward. He looks like a good play today, just probably like my second favorite spend up. I think Giannis is still the favorite spend up, but if I like the price tag on Paul George a little bit better. On DraftKings Fanduel, it's a little bit closer. He's 10-8 compared to 11-3. But Giannis also, I think, will get a lot more ownership, so you probably just want to hope that Paul George goes off. McCollum is 8K. He's a price where he probably should be, maybe a little bit underpriced on FanDuel. He's way underpriced on DraftKings, though. At the value end of the position, you have Seth Curry at 52. I like him more than like Korkmaz and Grayson Allen and Clarkson, now that they're pretty much all healthy. You have Danny Green, 46. Probably like him at small forward a little bit more. Don't need to go super crazy with someone like these value plays at the bottom. Going up here in the mid-range, I like Jrue Holiday a little bit at 68. Going up against his former team, nice price tag. If he gets over 30 minutes once again, which is what you would expect. Without Chris Middleton there still, they just don't, there's a lot of opportunities for Holiday to handle the ball, make some plays, and a matter of time before he kind of gets back to himself as he gets his feet back. Small forward, you have Giannis and Paul George. It's going to be the decision you want to make. I think Giannis will be a lot more expensive or a lot more popular than Paul George. So give me Paul George in a great matchup against the Blazers at home. Paul George should carry the team today. And we all seen the upside that he brings. You can drop 40, 50 real life points, put up 50 to 70 plus fantasy points on a consistent basis. The value plays, you have like nothing. I don't want to pay 54 for like Royce O'Neal or 54 for Korkmaz, really. Powell is kind of expensive at 61. Maybe I look to Covington. Maybe you can look to Bogdanovich from the Hawks side, or go to Danny Green, who's nicely priced a little bit at 46. At power forward, you have Giannis. You could try to get up to him as well, but I would take Bobby Portis at a pretty good tag. Like Portis, I feel good about paying for him just because I know he can be super productive. Gets you rebounds, gets you baskets. He takes a lot of shots. He's good with the defensive stuff with the blocks and steals. And then at center, you have a couple of options here, but Drummond is going to be the best option. Personally, you can go down to Clint Capella at 63. Don't mind that tag. I like Drummond a lot. And then maybe you can look at Nurkic at his cheap tag. But 72 for Drummond. Still take a shot on him. He's going to play big minutes for the Sixers without Embiid once again, who's in the protocols. So give you like 35 minutes out of Drummond. We all know the upside that he brings. He can also have a good game with the blocks as well, and steals potentially. But that's about it for the video. Thank you for watching. Best of luck today, and I'll see you all next time.